So this is going to be the agenda for we are going to discuss about what is a warehouse. That's a very basic question. We need to first understand what is a warehouse and then why we require a warehouse management system. Then we will see the key objectives, what we can achieve if we are having any warehouse system, any warehouse management system, be it from SAP or be it from any other providers. What are the key objectives that we can achieve in our warehouse? Then we will look at a brief history, how EWM has evolved, what was the prior module before, how is it different from WM, and what are the new features or new benefits has been added in a very brief history we are going to see. Then we are going to dive deep into the EWM part, Extended Warehouse Management System. We will see what are the different capabilities that are available in EWM, and we will see the different releases, and then we will continue our journey into EWM. We'll see the different landscape and so on. Okay, so before understanding what is a warehouse, let us try to understand with an example how any industry functions. Let me take an example of Tata Motors. And again, the disclaimer is I'm not making any kind of comments that how EWM has been implemented, or the example that I'm quoting is a real example from Tata Motors. This is just I am giving for a reference example purpose. So let's say, how does a Tata Motor function and what is the prime business of Tata Motors? They are producing vehicles. It could be cars, it could be trucks, buses, whatever. For our example, for simplicity, let us take that Tata Motors is producing cars. Now, to produce a car, what are the components Tata Motors would require? They would require engine. If they are doing an assembly, if they are producing the engine as well, then they would require all the components of engine, and then they would assemble the engine before they could actually assemble that engine into the car. So let us assume that they are procuring the engine directly. They are not manufacturing, or they are not preparing the engine there itself in the facility. So they would require the engine, they would require the tires, they would require a chassis, they would require infotainment system, your touch screens, they would require seats, seat covers, speakers, and many more such components. So let's say when Tata Motors starts producing those vehicles on the assembly line, and if there are only 3 tires available, they cannot wait for the 4th tire to be made available so that their final car is produced and released and sold to its customers. And just imagine a such situation like that, where they have started the assembly of the car and they realize that there are only 3 tires that is in their facility, and the 4th tire is not available. So what kind of activities they will need to perform before they can actually get this tire made available to their production facility? They would require a purchase order to be created. I'm assuming they are already having a contract with various vendors and suppliers. So they will create a purchase order with one of the suppliers and vendors. Then that purchase order would be sent to that vendor or supplier. Then that vendor will send 1 tire or a bulk, so a number of tires. Then from the supplier's location, it would be sent to the actual assembly plant where the car is being produced. And then it will take some days, and then the tire reaches the facility, and then you can put that tire in your car, and then your final product is ready. And then you will be able to sell that or maybe deliver that car to your customers. So you can see that there will be a slight or a significant delay in delivering that car to the customers. So we do not want that. So what Tata Motors would want is, they would want that, okay, when they are producing this car, they should have a certain material already available in their facility. And let's say if they are producing 100 cars in a day, then 100 into 4, at least every day, they should have 400 tires already available in their facility. So their assembly line is not stopped. They can continue to produce 100 cars. Then again, next day, they are going to produce 100 cars. So again, for the next day to produce those 100 cars, again, same set of 400 or 500, if you're giving a spare tire as well, 500 tires should be available next day so that the assembly line continues to work. There is no stoppage, there is no breakage. And for this, they would require a warehouse. What this warehouse will do, not only the tires, the engines, the infotainment system, the seats, the doors, the chassis, whatever we discuss, it will be already available in the warehouse. And then from the warehouse, they will pick those materials and it would be made available on the assembly line. And then you can continue to produce those cars. So this is from the procurement perspective. When you need certain components, when you need certain parts, it should be available in your facility, and that facility will be a warehouse where you will be storing all those parts, all those materials in a certain order that we are going to discuss, but the facility will be called as a warehouse. So this is from the inbound scenario where parts or materials from different vendors, different suppliers are coming to your location where you have physically created a warehouse. It is coming to your location, and then you are utilizing those materials in the production facility. Now, look at the other side, which will be the outbound scenario. Now, Tata Motors is producing 100 cars every day, and they will be selling those 100 cars to different customers. So it is not possible that you have a customer ready as soon as you produce your car and it comes out of your assembly line, and your customer will pick the car and they will take it to their home or their location. No, it is not going to be like that. So after your cars has been produced, you would require certain steps to be followed. There will be a quality inspection. There would be some testing. You are going to run those cars on the tracks. You will do certain testing. There will be certain quality inspections that you are going to do before actually delivering the cars to your customers. So in the outbound scenario also, if let's say you are selling 100 cars every day to customers, you have 100 sales order already created, and you know that each day one customers from different dealers will be taking these cars from your dealer location. Then between those dealer location and your assembly line, you are also performing certain quality inspections, validations, and you need to store those cars as well before the final delivery or before the final outbound happens. Then again, you would need a warehouse where your finished product, which is a car in this case, will be stored before it can be delivered to your dealer or maybe directly to your customers. So that will be the outbound scenario. You will have sales orders created. According to the sales orders, you are going to fulfill the delivery of your customers. And on my screen, you can see a picture of a very simplistic picture of warehouse, where the building, you can see that there are various products that has been stored, and you can see a truck and the small vehicles. Let me see if I can get the pointer here. No. Okay, so these small vehicles, these are forklifts, so which is like picking these materials or pallets, you can call it, picking up these pallets, and they are loading this into truck, and then this truck will go to the designated location where your materials or where your product needs to be shipped. In our case, we considered example, but this looks like some other warehouse where there are different products which has been packed in these boxes, or which are called as HUs. We will be discussing about what do you mean by HU, what do we mean by boxes, everything we will discuss. But then once this truck is loaded, it will be shipped to the destination location wherever you want to ship. So this is how a business would function, and it would require warehouse for both the inbound scenario and outbound scenario. Now, let us take the definition of warehouse. What do we mean by warehouse? What is a warehouse? So a warehouse, we can say it as a dedicated space used for storing the goods and material that we are seeing. That in this building, you can see that various materials or certain goods has been stored, and it is a very vital component in the supply chain process. So we have seen that, okay, you are procuring something on using let's say you are using SAP PP over there, and you are using SAP MM where all your materials are master data materials, prices, everything is configured. And then to keep your flow optimized, just in time delivery, make to order, make to stock, to achieve all these scenarios, or the warehouse is a very vital component. It helps the organization to manage their inventory. So you can manage your inventory. Like in our example, if you're producing 100 cars, you need all the components, you need all the materials to produce those 100 cars. You will have all the components, all the inventory available in your warehouse. And this is how you are going to streamline your logistics as well. When I say streamline your logistic, your Inbound flow, when your supplier should send the materials from their location to warehouse, this could be streamlined and optimized. And when the truck should leave from your warehouse to the dealer or to the customers, that can be streamlined through the warehouse management system. And of course, the other components, it will ensure that the products are made available when the customer needs, and so on and so forth. Okay, any questions before I actually go to the next topic on understanding this warehouse? We have discussed two scenarios of warehouse, inbound and outbound scenario. We are going to discuss in details what is inbound, what is outbound, how to create the inbound delivery, how to create the outbound delivery, and every aspect of inbound and outbound delivery. But any questions on this general, what is a warehouse or why we need a warehouse?
Actually, I'm new to EWM, so I'd like to know the difference between the previous process, what we follow, and the current process. Like, what is the difference with EWM and what was the legacy system, like legacy kind of process, what they used previously? I mean, what is
right? That we are going to do. So you can see that we will be discussing about the comparison or what was the legacy modules that was already available prior to EWM. Even in the warehouse management system history, we are going to see a little bit about that.
Okay, sure.
Okay, then I will move ahead. Now we have seen what is a warehouse, the physical location, why an organization need a warehouse. I am still talking about warehouse. When I say warehouse, I am talking about the physical location that I need where I will be managing my inventory. Now, to optimize your warehouse, you need a warehouse management system. And why a warehouse management system is required, we are going to discuss about that. Okay, so we know that the warehouse, the actual physical location or the building that we saw in the previous slide is very essential in any supply chain process. Now, to optimize that warehouse, to optimize the storage, to optimize the movements of goods. When I say optimize the storage, you see, this is your warehouse. It will have certain capacity. And if you stack your goods in any random order, then you might not be utilizing the full capacity or full potential of this warehouse. So you need a warehouse management system which tells you that, okay, this is the material, this is the size of the material, this is the weight of the material, or you can consider these boxes. This is the size of this box. This is the weight of this box. Then accordingly, where you should place this box in your warehouse. This your warehouse management system will tell you. So in a way, you're optimizing your storage, how this product, how this box, or how this pallet should be stored in your warehouse. Then you can see that in your inbound and outbound scenario, and even in the internal movement, you are moving material from one location to another location, from one bin to another bin. You are doing a lot of other processes in your warehouse as well. So here also, your warehouse management system will tell you that, okay, this is the box. Okay, you want to do a quality inspection. What are the steps you should follow? From which location to which location this box should be moved? Let us take this example only. You can see from your warehouse, there are certain boxes which has been placed on this area. Let's consider this as a staging area where your truck comes and then you are loading that material into this truck. Now let us assume the other way around. Once your truck arrives and then this forklift is going to the warehouse, is searching for the boxes which needs to be loaded into the truck, then it is picking that boxes from the warehouse, then it is bringing it up here and then loading the truck. Compared to the other scenario where you have already moved your boxes from your warehouse to this area, and when the truck arrives, your forklift just pick those boxes and loads into the truck. Which process will take less time in loading the truck so that the truck can be relieved and it could be sent to the destination? Putting those boxes here already in the staging area or picking it up from the warehouse when the truck arrives? Which one will take less time? Any guesses as well?
Staging area, from the staging area.
Yes, of course. So when you have already placed your boxes or materials in the staging area, then of course this is optimized. It will take less time. As soon as the truck arrives, these forklifts, you are seeing there are multiple forklifts. These forklifts will pick these boxes and will load into the truck. This will take less time. So we can say this process is optimized, and this steps will be configured and will be done in the warehouse management system. So your warehouse management system will tell you that, okay, this truck is supposed to arrive, let's say at 10 a.m. Then you need to move all these materials because this truck has a capacity to load, let's say 10 boxes. Then you need to move these 10 boxes from your warehouse to the staging area so that the truck, when arrives, you can load those materials into the truck. So that way you're optimizing your goods movement, you're optimizing the performance of your warehouse. Okay, so what warehouse management system will do? It will improve your inventory accuracy because you are moving the right boxes, so you are not loading something which was not supposed to be loaded onto the truck. If you by mistake, if you put another box on that staging area, then the forklift or the warehouse worker will come and they will load that box into the truck, and it would be sent to the dealer's location or will be sent to the location which it was not intended to. So with your warehouse management system, it will improve your inventory or it will improve your warehouse accuracy because you know which box is placed on which area, and you will be able to locate the different material, different pallets. Then it is, of course, increasing the efficiency that we have already seen, that if you are moving the material or boxes already from your warehouse to a staging area, and when the trucks comes, you are simply loading that. So you are optimizing and you are reducing the efficiency. When you are improving your accuracy and when you are increasing your efficiency, of course, your operational cost becomes low. Your time to manage those inventory has reduced. You are reaching a high accuracy where you are not sending or you are not moving material or boxes from a location to another location which was it was not intended. So your whole operational cost of your warehouse reduces. And the fourth and the most important point is it enhances your customer satisfaction. So when you are not delivering wrong product, when you are not taking too much of time to deliver the product, then of course your customer satisfaction increases. Just think for a moment, if you have ordered something from Amazon and if you get a product which you have not ordered, and then again Amazon customer service tells you, okay, fine, we will ship the right product to you, although they will ship the right product to you, but this additional delay or the first instance where the right product was not delivered to you, that will cause a dissatisfaction, that will give you a bad impression about Amazon. So if you are having a proper warehouse management system and taking care of your inventory optimization and efficiency, then your customer services, your customer satisfaction also increases. So this is the reason, the 4 points to improve your inventory or warehouse accuracy, to increase your efficiency, to reduce the overall operational cost, to enhance your customer satisfaction. You need a warehouse management system in your warehouse. Any questions? Okay. And we are discussing about the theory, the concept of warehouse management system. What is EWM? And then like maybe from towards the end of the session or maybe from onwards, we will see in the system how to configure a warehouse, how to use a warehouse, what are the different configurations we need to do. All those things we will see in the subsequent sessions as well. So we are trying to just understand what is warehouse and what is EWM from a very holistic perspective. Okay, then what are the key objectives of a warehouse management system? Now we know the problem statement. What was the problem statement and what we are trying to solve with a warehouse management system? And on the similar lines, these will be the key. These are the 6 key objectives based on which, if you're using a warehouse management system, you will see those objectives being achieved in your warehouse. We have already discussed about customer satisfaction, and you can see the high customer service and satisfaction. So if you're using a warehouse management system, you know the exact location of each and every material, each and every boxes. You know the exact location, in which storage bin, which area, which corner of the warehouse this particular material is placed. So let's say if a customer is making an order based on the location, you know that this material is already in my warehouse in this particular storage location, then you will be able to calculate the delivery time. If you do not know, let's say you check your warehouse and you see that, okay, this product or this material which customer has ordered is not available in my warehouse, then I need to procure this material or maybe ship this material from my another location. Let's say a customer is ordering this product in Pune location and you see that in Pune warehouse, this is not available. Then you check your warehouse management system and you find that, okay, it is available in my another warehouse, which is in Chennai location. And you know that from Chennai to ship that material from Chennai to Pune, it will take 3 additional days. Then accordingly, you can tell your customers or you can show a delivery date to a customer according to the current location of the product. And that is the way you are able to serve your customers in a better way and you achieve a high level of customer satisfaction. The second point is process standardization. Let us assume if you are not using a warehouse management system, then every warehouse worker or every person will follow own process according to their mindset, according to their knowledge, according to their skill. They will follow own process, and that will not be very standard. So in the first example which we saw, let's say I am new to this warehouse, I am a fresher and I am working as a warehouse worker in this warehouse. My thought process is, okay, if I put this material in the staging area, unnecessary, I am doing it in a two-step process. First, I am picking the material from the warehouse and then putting it in this area. And when the truck comes, I am again picking it up and then loading the truck. For me, this is a two-step process. What I think is when the truck will arrive, I will pick this forklift, I'll directly go to the warehouse, I will pick these boxes and I will load it to the truck. That is my way of thinking. But I am not thinking from a larger perspective that, okay, this is going to take more time and I am paying for the truck based on the number of hours we are using it. So if let's say for 4 or 5 hours, the truck is standing in my warehouse, I am paying for that as well. But according to my thought process, I thought, okay, this is better, and I followed that process. Another warehouse worker who is an experienced guy, he knows that, okay, it would not be the most optimized process. So what we need to do, we need to move the material from the warehouse to a staging area. And when the truck is arriving, that material is already ready near to the truck, and we just simply load that truck. So instead of 4 hours, the truck now will be staying in our warehouse only for 1 hour. He is thinking from that perspective. But there is not a standard process that we are following. But if there is a warehouse management system, your warehouse management system will tell you what you need to do. So based on if the warehouse management system sees that, okay, there is an outbound delivery which is scheduled to happen at 10:30, then it will prompt the movement of these material from your warehouse to the staging area. And then everyone will follow the same process. They will just pick it up, the different boxes, and will load it into the truck. So in this way, you are standardizing the process. I gave you a very brief example, but you can think from other perspective as well. If you are doing a quality inspection, what are the things that you need to perform? What are the steps you need to do will be standardized using your warehouse management system. Okay. Increased efficiency and productivity. We have already seen that if you are improving your accuracy of your inventory, you are reducing the processing time, then of course your efficiency and productivity of the warehouse is increased. Okay, reduced inventory and labor cost. How? So now your inventory is managed properly using a warehouse management system. And let us take the first example which I gave. You are producing Tata Motor cars. You are producing 100 cars every day. Now you are producing blue color cars. Let us say you are producing blue color Nexon, and you have tires which is for Tata Safari. Do you think you can fit Tata Safari car in your Tata Nexon? And I am assuming that the size of both these vehicles are different. If it is same, I am not considering that. But let us assume the tire is different, size is different. Can you fit a Tata Safari car tire into your Tata Nexon? Can you do that?
No.
Of course, no. The obvious answer is no. We cannot do that. Then just think that, okay, your warehouse is full with tires. You have all the tires, 400 tires or 500 tires you need, but it is for Tata Safari. And what you're producing, you are producing Tata Nexon. then the entire inventory, although it is fully utilized, you have stored all the materials, it is in full capacity, but it is useless. That will increase your cost. It will increase the dissatisfaction among the customers. It will increase the processing time. Then again, you need to follow the same steps. You move these tires from your warehouse to some other location, and then you ship in other tires, or maybe you change your entire assembly line and you start producing the Tata Safari car so that you can fit in these tires. So with warehouse management system, you can optimize your inventory. Okay, you know that I'm going to produce Tata Nexon, then day after I'm going to produce Tata Safari. Then you can manage your inventory according to that only. Or you know that you have orders from your customers for Tata Nexon, then there is no point producing Tata Safari. Then accordingly, you will have your inventory managed according to that. So this way, you are optimizing your inventory, you're optimizing your warehouse, so that reduces the cost. Even the labor cost will be reduced because they are not repeating the same process again and again. You would require less number of warehouse workers because your warehouse process is already optimized. You're following the standard process. Then the fifth objective is greater visibility and decision support. The same example that we took, that, okay, if you are using a warehouse management system, your warehouse management system will tell you that, okay, you have 400 cars to be produced, which will be Tata Nexon. And then accordingly, you need to have all the materials that you need to put in Tata Nexon. Then you are not going to procure the material and bring and put in your warehouse, which is not for Tata Nexon. So that way, from the warehouse management, they will have a greater visibility of all your inventory, all your sales order, all your purchase order, and then they will be able to make wiseful decision. Okay, then I need to get this material moved from different dealers to my warehouse, or maybe if this material is not available with my dealer, I need to create a purchase order so that I can procure this material or this components from different dealers. And then again, they are contributing to better customer satisfaction and optimization and less operational cost. Everything, it would lead to that. So again, the decision makers, they will have a greater visibility of data, they will have accurate data, and they will be able to take wise decision. Now, the sixth point is the most important, process automation and scalability. So in the warehouse management system, you can integrate various tools, automated guided vehicles, RF scanners, PPF, post-processing framework, and many of these things we are going to discuss as a part of this curriculum. And using all these components, using all this process, you can automate a lot of things. So for example, if you are creating an outbound delivery, your outbound delivery will be loaded into the truck. Your material or whatever you want to ship to your customer will be loaded into your truck. And at the same time, let's say you want printout to be triggered to your printer. That can be automated. So through a PPF action, you can trigger a printout, and then you already have a printout which you can hand it over to the truck driver or to the truck person that, okay, these are the materials that you are carrying, or all the documents that you need, let's say for cross-border transit or for customs, whatever you need, you have all the documents already ready. You have the AGVs, which we call it automated guided vehicles. So this you are seeing as a forklift. This you are seeing is a forklift where you need a driver. You need you need to operate it manually. Similarly, there are AGVs, automated guided vehicles, in very advanced warehouse. So those guided vehicles are kind of robots. They know that, okay, this material is placed in this location. It would automatically go to that location and it will pick that material. It will come and it will load into the truck, or maybe if you want to move it to another location.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
So there is, without any manual intervention, that AGV will perform its operation. So that level of automation you can do in the warehouse with the warehouse management system. Okay, so these are the 6 objectives that we can achieve if we are having a good or a proper warehouse management system implemented in our warehouse. Any questions on this?
You said there is a staging area, right? Like which will improve the process. So with this, whatever the staging area is, that what do we call this in EWM, like, or any legacy warehouse system? Like, what do we call this staging
This is
process?
called as a staging area. This is a staging area only. So that's the reason I have used a warehouse specific terms only. This is called as a staging area, where between your warehouse I explained for an outbound scenario. Similarly, for an inbound scenario, your truck comes and you just unload the trucks and put it in the staging area, and then from the staging area you move it to different locations in your warehouse.
So in the system, like, do we consider it as a storage location or bin or something? Or
it will be considered as a storage location. We will see that.
Oh, okay.
It's considered as storage.
It's called as a staging area only, but we will configure the staging area as well. Yeah, sorry.
It's considered as storage, not storage location.
Yeah. So we will discuss about storage type, storage bin, different sections, everything we will discuss. Okay, moving on to the next topic. So this is a brief history, how the warehouse management system has been evolving in SAP world. And you can see there are two boxes, I would say. So one you are seeing with this green colors, and then you are seeing on the left is with yellow colors or golden, whatever you are seeing. And then you can see that it started somewhere in 1970, long back, maybe for specific one process, they had created a warehouse management system. And you can see that in 1970, no, this is 1980. So again, in 1975, they created the first software. So it was specific for a customers. It was not a standardized, or it was not a generic process that they had created. It was specific according to the customer's need. Those softwares were created. And then down the line, you can see that they have added a lot of processes. So for example, EDI, the data exchange, which is again an important way to interface your EWM system with other legacy or SAP system or non-SAP system. So let's say, for example, if your dealer is sending some material from their location to your warehouse, they will send an advanced shipment notification, and there is an IDOC type, DESDAV, DESDAV, IDOC type, which will be sent so that you know that, okay, these are the material that is coming to my warehouse on this date. And then when your truck arrives, you already have planned your warehouse that, okay, these are the materials which I will be getting in my warehouse. And then you can move those materials and you can perform different operations. Then you can see the first RFID. It was introduced somewhere between 1990 and 2000. And it is one of the very key component in the warehouse. So you must have seen those RF scanners. Let me see if I could show you. Yeah. So these are the kind of scanners which you must have seen maybe in different locations. Maybe if you have gone to the DMarts, DMarts, they are using a different type of it, but still in the bigger stores, you will see this, that, okay, their warehouse workers, they are having RF gun like this, and then they are just pointing it. You can see that he's pointing this gun to some barcode, and then it will read the data, and then they know, okay, what material is there, what is the storage location. They will get all the information. Even some of the processes they can perform from this. So this is still an old version of RF scanner. Then you have latest version of the Zebra and the different vendors RF scanners, which is touch enabled. So here you are seeing a lot of keys as well, but in the new ones you will see it is touch enabled. So it's very much similar to your Android mobile that you're seeing. So again, it supports various mobile applications, and then you can use the RF scanner to scan various products, or if you want to move something, then you just point it to that barcode and you get all the information. Then the warehouse worker can perform the operation, what needs to be done on that particular box or pallet or material, whatever it is. Okay, then you can see then in later half of 2000, they have also enabled pick by voice in the RFID also. So not every time you need to click a button or you need to touch the screen. Even there are some voice commands that you can give, and then based on the voice command, those operations can be performed. So even that functionality has been added. And from a process perspective, if you will see that in SCM 5.0, Initially, it was warehouse orders, warehouse monitors, internal routing processes were available. If I talk about the ones which we are going, you will see this MFS, material flow system, batch management. These has been added in the later version. So with every version, they have introduced some or new component. You don't need to learn or know each and every version they have released. There are two that we are going to discuss anyway. So I'll not talk about that. Different deployment option of a warehouse we are going to discuss when that slide comes. But you can see, you can understand that you are seeing a two representation of a warehouse. One is in the HCM box, and then this is in your ERP system itself. And we will see the different deployment option in some time. Okay. So in SAP, the prior version to Extended Warehouse Management System was a WM, which was Warehouse Management System. And then they have the next version of the WM system is Extended Warehouse Management System. And it has many more functionality, the pick by voice, RF enabled. You can see the GUI of the RF screens is way more advanced. And in WM, we did not have RF screens available for all the warehouse processes. In fact, it was not there. And then in Extended Warehouse Management System, you have that RF screen. So even from RF, you can perform all the put away, picking, inbound delivery, outbound delivery, many more things you can do from the RF device as well. So the warehouse worker, if he is in the warehouse, why you need that RF device? That did anyone get that question? Okay, it's a handheld device. Why you need that device? Did anyone think of that question? We saw these RF scanners, right? And let me show you the chip.
It is for operational efficiency.
Yes, true. And how it will bring operational efficiency?
Because you can do all your activities within RF. You need not to depend on the desktop system.
Correct.
If you want to do any activity, removal, put away, or want to do the bin-to-bin activities, everything you can manage, which is integrated with the EWM system.
Yes. So if you see this warehouse, it's a very small one, but consider a big warehouse. If you
can take that in the hand, and navigate through the warehouse, because the warehouse is a very big.
Right.
Place,
so
right?
Warehouse worker will be working in each and every location of this warehouse, right? They will be working in the staging area. They will be working in every corners of this warehouse. And you cannot place a computer at every location of the warehouse. You cannot do that. Absolutely, it is not possible. So maybe you will have one system, one computer, maybe where your IT support or where your business users are sitting. Maybe you will have one computer placed over there. But warehouse workers is working on every location. He cannot carry a computer everywhere. Let's say he's moving in this particular vehicle from one location to another location. He cannot carry a computer in this vehicle. And if he wants to know which boxes he needs to pick, there are so many boxes, how will he know? Then he can take use of the handheld device, which is the RF scanner. He will point to that box and he will scan it. He will get all the information. He will get all the information. Okay, this is the material inside this is the weight, this is the width, height, everything he will get. And then accordingly, he knows that, okay, this material should be picked or not, because that also warehouse management system will tell him. And then he will pick that material and load into the truck. So RF device is a very handy or a very useful device in a warehouse, because you cannot have a computer or a PC made available in every location of the warehouse. And these handheld device comes to the use of each and every warehouse worker. Okay, then why a extended warehouse management system? So we were discussing that prior to this, it was warehouse management system, which was called as WM. And SAP has brought in the next version, which is the Extended Warehouse Management System. And I think now by 2028 or 2030, because they have extended it, that WM will be completely replaced with EWM. So now, sooner or later, every organization, you can see they are moving from WM to EWM. If not now, then in some time, definitely they will. And again, as I mentioned, like the RF capabilities, they have added many more processes, the yard management, MFS. MFS is also a very key component in the warehouse to integrate with those robots I was talking about. So if you are seeing an automated warehouse, then MFS comes into picture. So they have added more functionalities into the Extended Warehouse Management System. They have simplified some of the processes. So you are following a standard process, and some of the processes has been simplified in the EWM as compared to WM and IM. and even many of the processes you were not able to perform in an IM system. So let's say if you are having a very complex warehouse system, very complex, yeah, you can take example of Amazon only. So if Amazon is managing a warehouse, just think of the complexity they will have. They are dealing in thousands of products. You can basically order each and everything from Amazon, and they are having thousands of products. And think of a warehouse where you are storing all these 1,000 products. And the warehouse worker should know which product is in which location so that it picks the correct product and delivers to the customers. Then again, there are a lot of return products. So your customers are returning a lot of products that should come to your warehouse again. You are following a certain steps over there. You are doing a quality inspection whether that product is not used, it is damaged, then accordingly you will take action on those. So if it is damaged, you will send it for scrapping, or if it is in good condition to be used, then you know that, okay, you can again put it in the inventory and make it available for sale so that next customer can order it. And you need to optimize your process. If you are having a very big warehouse, spanning across a big land parcel, then for each material, your warehouse worker cannot be moving through the entire warehouse to pick that material. No, you need to optimize that process as well so that that warehouse worker or your AGVs, automated guided vehicles, are traversing the shortest possible path to pick those materials and bring it to the location so that it can be shipped to customers. So all those complicated process, you are going to do deconsolidation. We will see some of the terms. I am just mentioning the terms. If you don't know about it, don't worry. We will be discussing about these terms. You are going to do quality inspection. You are going to do yard management. You are going to use MFS to integrate with those automated conveyors, AGVs. You are going to use all such processes. So for such complex warehouse where the volume is high, where you are storing a lot of material, you need an extended warehouse management system. These kind of capabilities was not possible with WM. WM was useful, but when you are talking about a big warehouse with complex process, then you need to bring in extended warehouse management system. And even smaller organization, for example, if you are just, for example, a small company, let us assume a small medicine company, they are getting those products delivered from the various suppliers. They are packing it and then they are shipping to customers. They are not dealing in very high volume or too many materials. Then they can use inventory management as well. So again, it depends on the complexity your actual warehouse needs, the number of transactions that you are making, and then you will choose that, okay, you should go for extended warehouse management. And again, even in extended warehouse management system, there are various deployment options that we will see. And again, according to the need, you are going to choose the correct deployment option. Okay, so in extended warehouse management system, you can have a standalone system as well. This is one of the deployment option, or you can have a fully integrated embedded EWM as well. So that we will see in the deployment option. You can integrate your EWM with all your other SAP modules. So you can integrate with SAP MM, you can integrate with your production planning, you can integrate with your SD, you can integrate with FICO as well. I mean, once the good receipt is done, invoices would be generated. So you can integrate with those systems as well. And not only that, you can integrate with other SAP components as well. You can see here the integration with BI as well possible. So if you are using SAP Analytics Cloud, if you have heard of these terminologies, DataSphere, SAP Analytics Cloud, BW on HANA, BI, then you can integrate your EWM system with these systems as well. So you can create those reports, you can create those visualizations as well. You can, of course, connect it with your ECC or ERP system, because your sales order, your purchase order, your material management will be in your ERP system. So you can integrate with this as well. If you are having various suppliers, they are using different components, they are using different systems, then you can have integrations with that. I mean, there are various services, there are various ways to do that. But yes, you can very seamlessly integrate your EWM with different supplier systems as well. And this we already discussed, that some of the functionalities also, it has new and enhanced functionalities as compared to WM. And in some some years, it would be made obsolete and WM will be completely removed from SAP ecosystem, and people will be using EWM. Okay, and this is from the previous version, because some of the organizations are still using it like that because they are already using WM for long, and they cannot do a one-time transformation that they are moving everything from their system. They will do it slowly, but yes, and slowly they would replace their EWM, or they will migrate everything what they are doing in WM to EWM. Okay, and then again, the same integration scenario. You can see this is the supply chain management. This is a separate HCM box where you have your SAP Extended Warehouse Management System, SAP EWM place. And again, you have various other modules. We are not going to discuss into details about those. And then you can see it is connected to your ERP system. So all other SAP modules like MM, Material Management, SD, Sales and Distribution, FICO, Master Data, other logistic executions, the ERP logistic executions is available in your ECC or ERP system. And through RFCs, through various iDocs, your EWM or your SCM system is connected to other system. If you are having a separate CRM portal for your sales, marketing, customer relationship, then even your EWM is connected to that CRM portal as well through different iDocs, RFCs, and you can see all short of connections through RFCs, here through iDocs. And this I was talking about, you're getting an iDoc from your CRM system to your EWM. Here, I was talking about BW. So this is your warehouse. So you can see even your EWM system can directly connect to your warehouse system. And then you can create data models on your BW layer. And then from those data models, the visualizations, the graph, pie chart, bar graph, whatever you want to create, you can see so that the business have very good high level overview of how your EWM system or how your warehouse is functioning. Okay, so one reference slide. So let's say if you are working on an WM system, if your client is using a WM system and they say that, okay, they want to do deconsolidation, then you know that deconsolidation process is not available in WM and IM. Then you know that, okay, if it is EWM, then only you can use the deconsolidation process. Otherwise, deconsolidation process will not be available in. So accordingly, this you can consider as a reference diagram. If you want to see that which functionality is available in which system, then accordingly you can use it. So you can see if in IM, it is very simple. I mean, manage stock at the storage location directly. So it is having only one functionality. If you want to do any other warehouse related operations, then those are not available. Similarly, for WM, many of the functionalities like other value added services, deconsolidation, labor management, all these things are not available in WM, and all these are available in the EWM system. Okay, any questions till this point? Okay, so in this diagram, you can see the different versions of EWM. You have seen that many people, they are saying that they are certified in EWM 9.5, 9.4. So these are the different versions of the EWM they are talking about. And it is basically categorized in 3 different high-level processes. One is the inbound processing. The second one is the outbound processing, inbound, when it is coming to your warehouse from outside location, from your dealers, from your suppliers to your location. That is inbound processing. When you are sending something from your warehouse to other location, maybe to your dealers, to your customers, to another warehouse, that would be coming as a part of outbound processing. Then, of course, even in the warehouse, you will be performing certain operations. You will be optimizing the storage, and all those will be coming under internal movement, storage, and operation. So in 3 sections, you can see that in which EWM module, which process was introduced. So let me take, for example, the production supply. So this production supply was introduced in EWM 7.0. So if you are using EWM prior to EWM 7.0, then this production supply process will not be available. Similarly, if let's see anything related to this, the purple one, okay, this direct PLC communication, maybe I think even batch on plant level, I'm not sure of these processes, but yeah, I mean, many of these functionality, this one, SAP Fiori apps for return clerk. So again, they have introducing Fiori for to be used in EWM, and with every release, they are adding more and more Fiori applications. So many of the things they are adding with every release and every version. If you want to see based on which version, what are the possibilities or what are the capabilities your EWM system is having, then you can refer to this slide. You do not need to remember what was available in which version. If you're using anything which is EWM 9.5, of course you're using the latest version, and you do not need to worry about everything that you see in this diagram is already available. Okay, so before moving to the next topic, which will be the different deployment option, any questions till this point, whatever we have discussed? So now what you're seeing on my screen is the different deployment options, or you can call it as a landscape. First, I will start with S/4HANA Embedded EWM, because this is the system we are going to use for our learning as well. And this is the system which will be made available to you as well. Once we are discussing, it will be made available to you as well for your practice as well. So first, let us discuss about this. You all must be knowing about SAP S/4HANA. Anyone who is not aware about SAP S/4HANA? Okay. So just one liner about SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA is the fourth generation or the next generation business suite from SAP, which is having SAP HANA as a database. That is a very key component of it. It is having SAP HANA as a database, which is an in-memory database from SAP. It is having many more capabilities, many advanced features. And the business suite, which is based on top of SAP HANA database, they have called it as SAP S/4HANA, which is again the fourth generation. First was SAP ECC 2-tier, then 3-tier, and then the fourth one is S/4HANA, and the prior one was standalone applications they were creating. So that's how the history of SAP Business Suite has been. Then if you want to use different modules, let's say SD, MM, FI, CO, PP, then all these modules will be made available in SAP S/4HANA. Similar to these modules, even EWM is also available in your same SAP S/4HANA box only. Let us see that. What do I mean by that? So this is my SAP S/4HANA system. I will go to the status so that I can see all the components that has been installed. So I will go to SAP system data, product version. I'll click on this icon, details, and let me first go to the installed product versions. And you can see this is the SAP S/4HANA on-premise 2023. So it is one of the latest version of SAP S/4HANA that we are using. And I don't think we'll see directly the EWM components. Yeah, right. So we do not see any specific component for EWM. Let me search as well one more time. But your EWM component is already coming pre-installed with your SAP S/4HANA. How do I know that? So if I run any of the transaction related to EWM, if I go to SPRO, I should be able to see that. So let's say I run warehouse monitor transaction, and this is a very common, very useful transaction. So which is for monitoring all your activities in your warehouse. And you can see that this transaction is available. If I go to inbound documents, inbound delivery, let me filter all the data. Perfect. I can see a lot of inbound delivery. So there are some 4,000 odds inbound delivery. If I click on this, if I click warehouse task, you can see. So this is again transaction, PRDI transaction. So my warehouse components is already available. SCWM components is already available. The transaction I have seen, the screen I have seen. Let me see any one of the tables. If you want to see, then you can see those tables as well, or better to see in SPRO. So if I go to SPRO, and this we will be discussing. So if I am rushing, don't worry about that. Yeah, we have warehouse configured in our EWM system. So your EWM components is already available. One more quick check that I will do. I will run the transaction for RFUI. So I just spoke about the remote enabled devices. And then you can see that this is how the screen will look like. I mean, you are seeing it in the browser or in your GUI at the moment, but this is how your screen will be displayed on that UI device. So it will be not the complete of it. So let's say if I crop, so something like this, this big screen will be displayed in your RFUI, this box. Okay, so my EWM components are available in my S4HANA system. And this is called as embedded warehouse. Coming back to the slide, you can see that this is called as embedded deployment. So your warehouse is in the same S4HANA box as your other ERP modules, the SD module, MM module, whatever modules you are using, you have it in the same box. What are the advantages? Before coming to the advantages, let us see what are the different deployment options. Then we will compare the advantages and disadvantages of each and which one should be preferred over other in which scenario. The other deployment option is, it is called as decentralized. In decentralized EWM, what you will have is, you will have your SAP S4HANA or SAP ECC. It could be both. I mean, if you are still in SAP ECC, then your ERP related process. What do I mean by the ERP related process? Let's say if you want to create your purchase order, if you want to create your sales order, if you want to create your materials, then all those things will be done in your ERP system. And you have another system which will be in your SAP HCM server. You can see this example in HCM server, and you have SAP EWM deployed in that HCM server. So this is called as decentralized. Here it was embedded. Why embedded? Because your EWM, you can see, has been embedded. It has been included in your same SAP S4HANA system only. And this was possible in ECC as well. In SAP ECC also, you had the possibility for an embedded EWM. But in S4HANA, now it is coming pre-delivered. I mean, you do not need to add any components, add any add-ons. Now it is coming pre-delivered with that. If you want to use it, you can start using it. And the second one is decentralized, where your ERP system, when I'm talking about ERP system, I am talking about other systems. And then your EWM is deployed, or those components are available in a different HCM server. So if that was the case, if I log into my ERP account like I did now, and if I am running certain transactions, I should not be able to see those transactions or should not be able to run that, because your warehouse will be configured in this HCM server. Your storage location will be configured in this system. So those things will not be available. The third deployment option is, here you can see the SAP EWM standalone. In this standalone system, what you are doing is, you are having the same SAP ERP system like in the previous case, where your procurement related, SD related, MM related things are there. Now, SAP EWM is a separate box, but it is not on your SAP HCM server. It is a standalone component of SAP EWM you are using. And then it is integrated with ERP. What do I mean by standalone component? Let me go back few slides. If you see over here, we had one supply chain HCM system where along with EWM, you are having ATP, planning forecast, other HCM basics, everything, and you are having EWM deployed to this HCM box. If you are not using this ATP and other things, you are using only EWM, then as a standalone system also, without these components or these modules, if you're using SAP EWM only, then also it is possible. And that is the standalone deployment we are talking about. That is also decentralized. Why decentralized? Because your ERP box is separate from your EWM box. It is called as standalone, but again, it is decentralized, where your ERP system is different from your EWM system. Okay. So 3 deployment options we have discussed. One is the embedded EWM, embedded in S4HANA. Then the decentralized, where EWM is deployed on an HCM server. Then the third one is again a decentralized, where SAP EWM is on a standalone system. Okay. Any confusion or any questions related to these different deployment options? Again, if you don't go by this diagram completely, the same thing you can see it has been mentioned according to different releases as well. So now, you can see in the decentralized option, once SAP S4HANA was introduced, you can have SAP EWM servers connected to your SAP S4HANA system. So your ERP now changes from SAP ECC to S4. That is only what is changing in these two. So the topmost layer is showing your decentralized options, both decentralized EWM on SCM server, decentralized on EWM standalone, and connected to your SAP ECC ERP. In the middle layer, again, it is showing as decentralized, but your SAP EWM, whether on SAP HCM server or standalone EWM, is connected to your SAP S/4HANA ERP. Then the bottommost layer, now it is the embedded EWM, where your EWM servers or EWM components are coming pre-delivered or in the same box as your SAP S/4HANA system.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
So just think this, that you're moving this EWM from here to here, right? Or here to here. Then that is embedded EWM. This was prior. You could have added EWM as an add-on. Now this is no more available, and you can see even there is no conversion path towards S/4HANA. So this we are not discussing. Okay, is it clear or any questions? This is very important because the decision, if you are working as a consultant, then of course you need to take a decision on behalf of your client or your customers that, okay, which deployment option will be most suitable for them. And these kind of decisions, generally the functional people or who are the architects, they are part of that. But again, it is good to understand the benefits or the disadvantages of different deployment options. But is it clear, the three deployment option, is it clear?
Question, what is SCM server? You told, I think I missed it probably.
Okay, so you see this box, right? HCM server means in ERP box, what are the components you are having? You will have all these components: material management, ST, logistic, ERP logistic execution, FICO, master data. So these processes are related to enterprise resource planning, right? ERP, the full form of ERP is enterprise resource planning, right? And HCM is supply chain management. So in supply chain management, the processes you are going to do. I think ATP is available to promise, or APO, I forgot the full form of it. So if you're doing any kind of planning and forecasting, so like, for example, this material should be made available to this location or this customer at this particular time. So if you're doing that kind of advanced planning, right? Or if you're making stocks available as per the promise, or if you're doing those, I think, advanced planning and optimization, this is a module. So if you are using these modules as well, it will be coming in a separate box, and that we call it as a SCM, or the supply chain management box. And if you're having your EWM also, because EWM is also a part of a supply chain management process, right? So
it has to be with SCM, right? Always EWM, is that so?
No, we saw that both the options, right? Even in the HCM box also, or as a standalone also, you can have it both.
Okay. But with S/4HANA, it is all embedded. See, this is all there. Even APO is there, and is that right? So in APO,
sole purpose of SAP is if they are using SAP HANA, they are saying that you can do millions of transactions in the same system as well, right? So that is the reason they are bringing all the components in SAP S/4HANA. And again, if you are seeing, we'll discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages, then this will become clear. But all these components are available in S/4HANA as well, can be made available in S/4HANA.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, then moving on. Let's say, since we discussed the embedded EWM, a very big organization, Amazon, we will take example of Amazon. They are having warehouses across India, right? They will have warehouse in, let's say, in Bhiwandi, between Mumbai and Pune. They have a warehouse in Bangalore. They have a warehouse in Chennai, Hyderabad, and so on and so forth. According to their demand, they have created those warehouse. Now, everything is working fine for them. They are using this embedded EWM. Everything is working fine for them. Now they want to upgrade. They want to upgrade their SAP S/4HANA system. They were using, let's say, 2021, and now they want to upgrade their S4HANA to S4HANA 2023. Do you think their EWM is also impacted? If I am doing an upgrade of my SAP S4HANA system and I am assuming a downtime of, let's say, a week, I am considering it to be on the higher side, but let's assume there is a downtime of 1 week which will be required to upgrade my system. Will my system will also be impacted in this? Or will I be able to use the EWM system without any impact?
It will be impacted.
It will be impacted. And I am considering a downtime of 1 week. Let's say, even if it is not 1 week, if it is 3 to 4 days, for organization like Amazon, where they are doing transactions in millions every day, do you think they can afford a downtime of 3 or 4 days or a week? Even 2 days of downtime they can afford in their EWM system? No, they cannot. Even they cannot afford a downtime of 1 day, even if it is on a weekend. Generally, you will see that the organizations are upgrading their systems over the weekend because on weekends the volume is low or the processing is low. But for Amazon, on weekend probably they are doing more transactions, right? So that is the flip side of using an embedded EWM. What is the flip side? If you are upgrading your SAP S4HANA system, your EWM system is also impacted. Let's say there is a patch or there is enhancement that has been written by a developer, which has made the system corrupt. It is taking, it has started some unnecessary work processes, and then the whole system is behaving very slow. Is your EWM transactions will also be impacted? All your work processes are consumed by one bad implementation, which is unnecessary. It is going in a loop. So it is going in a loop, and then it is has consumed all your work processes. Is your EWM system also impacted? If you want to do an inbound delivery, will you be able to do that inbound delivery in this system? We are currently talking about embedded EWM only. Yes? No?
Yes.
Yes, it will have impact. Yes.
It will have impact. Even you will not be able to perform any of the EWM operation. So again, for big organization or those organizations who are doing transactions, millions of transactions in EWM, they have a very heavy dependency on EWM, then probably this would not be a very preferred operation for them, because they want to have their EWM operations running. Even let's say my sales order creation process in S4HANA is stopped, but I would want my EWM process to be running so that I can still get the products delivered. I cannot create new sales order, which I will fix in some time, but my products will be delivered to the customers as promised. My new materials which I want to procure will be already be shipped from different suppliers and will be delivered to my EWM location. That is one aspect of looking at it, where you want your EWM system to be separate from your ERP system. Then you will not go for this kind of operation. Okay, so I have discussed about the disadvantages. What could be the advantages of using an embedded EWM system? Now, let's say these two are two different systems. If you are creating a product in SAP S4HANA system, will it be available in the SAP EWM system? Let's say you are creating a Tata Nexon and you have created all the components that you will be required in Tata Nexon, right? So you, again, the same engine, chassis, tires, music system, infotainment system, speakers, and you have created those materials in your material management master data. Will those materials be available in your SAP EWM system?
Yes.
How? These two are two different systems I'm talking about.
No, but inward and outward should happen, right?
Yeah, that will happen. But I'm talking about a master data creation. You will create MM0, create this material. Will it be available in your SAP system? For inbound, of course, you are going to use the same material because you are going to do an inbound. You know this is the material coming to that, but it will not be available as a master data in your SAP EWM.
Right, correct, yeah.
Right. So then again, you need to follow certain process. You need to sync the data, master data between your SAP S4HANA and SAP EWM system. Similar way, if you are, let's say, creating the sales order, and then based on this sales order, you will deliver certain products, let's say the same car from SAP EWM system to your dealer. Then again, you need to have some kind of connection between your SAP S4HANA system to EWM so that your sales order information is passed from S4HANA to EWM. Then EWM knows, okay, this is the product I need to ship. Am I correct? You need to pass that information. So that kind of integration you need to build. But do you think we need to do those steps in the embedded EWM? Do I need to copy the master data? Do I need to necessarily create those integrations so that the data flows from ERP to EWM system? Do you think we need to do that in the embedded EWM as well?
It's not required.
It's not required. So that is an advantage. If you're using an embedded EWM, since both the modules are in the same system, you would not require CIF functionality to copy the master data from one system to another system. You will not require that complex integration because both the systems are already available. Both the modules are already available. As you have seen, I was able to access the EWM related transaction. I can access VA01 as well, right? I can access it. But if it was two systems, I would have had to log in into two different systems. VA01, I would have been able to access in SAP S4HANA, and then monitor transaction, which I access, I again would have had to log into EWM system to access the monitor transaction. So that is the advantage of using an embedded EWM. So if it is in the same system, you are not navigating between multiple systems. You do not need to copy the master data from one system to another system. But the flip side we know is that, again, your life cycle of EWM is dependent on your S4HANA. So if there is some functionality which is not working in SAP S4HANA, your probably EWM system is also impacted. So this is suited for organizations who are not using very complex. If you are using, simple EWM processes, you are not having very large volume, then you can go for this SAP S4HANA. Okay. In another cases, when I said for a complex warehouse, again, you could go for these two, and the decision to use which one depends. So if you are using APOs, if you are using other supply chain modules, then of course you will have this HCM server and you will use EWM in that. If you are using only EWM, you are not using planning and optimization, you are not using APO, then you can have EWM as a standalone system. Perfect. Is this clear? Now, let us take another example. Okay, let us take the same example of Tata Motors, right? Tata Motors is manufacturing, they are having a manufacturing facility in Pune. They are having a manufacturing facility in Chennai, and they are shipping this vehicle to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and some South African and South American continents as well. So a car which is produced in India is being shipped from your factory or your production facility in Pune to, let's say, South America or South Africa, maybe countries like Brazil, Argentina, or maybe South Africa. These countries also, they are shipping their vehicle. Now, they will have their dealers, they will have their salespersons in those countries as well, right? And now let's see, and I'm talking about the sales which is happening in those countries only. I'm talking about sales which is happening in South America and South Africa. And let's say they are not using those factories from Pune to sell in India or in nearby regions. Now, think from that, if I have my SAP S4HANA or SAP ECC servers located in India, and a dealer is creating a sales order in South America, do you think there will be a slight latency? I hope everyone knows what is latency. If not, please raise your hand. I would explain that. Or if I
don't know.
Okay. So I will explain that. Okay. So what do we mean by latency? Let's say you are using Google. You are using Google, right? You are using Google Drive, and you know the servers of Google Drive is located somewhere in America or Canada, and you are accessing Google Drive from India. You will have a very slight lag. Those companies are investing a lot on the infrastructure. They are using the best possible connections. So you will not see that probably with the naked eye or for individual retail users. But think from an organization perspective, they are accessing huge volume of data. They will see a certain lag, maybe a few nanoseconds, microseconds, or maybe a few seconds, but you will see a certain lag. Why? Because your request from India goes to a server in United States, and then it processes that request, and then data is transferred from United States to India. That slightest lag is called as latency. Now, compared to this, you think now now the Google sees that, okay, they have a lot of customers in India. Now they create their data centers, their servers in India only. For all the users in India, they will be redirecting their request to the servers in India. So now when you're trying to access Google Drive from India, your request will go to the servers in India. It will process that and will return you the results. Comparing these two examples which I gave, which one will be faster? Maybe few seconds, few microseconds or nanoseconds, which one will be faster? When with the servers were in United States or when the servers were in India?
In India.
In India. So this slight lag is called as latency. And for any individual or any organization, the lower the latency, the better it is. If you have seen, right, if you're trying to open a browser, or I mean you are open a website, if it takes even 1 or 2 seconds to load that page, you get frustrated. I mean, probably you will navigate to some other websites and you will start looking for alternatives. So even from customer satisfaction perspective, every organization wants to reduce the latency. Now, coming back to our example. Now the Tata Motors is doing the sales in South America and in Africa, South Africa. Now they will be using S4 system to create those sales order. Now, where do you think your S4 HANA system should be located so that you are reducing the latency? Because you will be your dealer. I mean, you are as a customer in South America, you go to a dealer and then he will take all the inputs. Okay, this is the car you need, this is the color you need, this is the tire you need. You want additional components into that, and then he will create a sales order. Similarly, thousands of customers are walking to the dealers and they are taking the sales order. Where do you think the servers should be located for capturing all these transactions? And I'm talking about SAP S4HANA servers, because your sales order will be created in your SAP S4HANA. Where it should be located. Consider the latency we just discussed. It should be located somewhere in South America or Africa or nearby regions as compared to India. Do you agree to this?
Yes.
Right. Now, if your S4HANA system is located in South America, and if you are using embedded EWM, then by default, your EWM system or EWM server is also located in South America. Am I correct? I'm talking about this scenario, the bottommost scenario. If your S4HANA system is located in South America, then of course your EWM servers are also located in South America, right? But yeah, in our example, we considered that our warehouse, our production facility is in Pune and is in Chennai. And we are shipping these vehicles from Pune to South America. Now a warehouse worker takes this RF device, goes to the warehouse if he wants to scan a device, and then you think your request to scan the data from India, Pune location will go to South America. It will process the request, get the details, and then will display on the RF device of the users in Pune. Do you think, again, we have tried to solve the latency in one scenario related to sales order, but we have created or increased the latency in case of EWM processes? Have we done that? We have done that, right? And if a warehouse worker, they are doing hundreds of transactions in the EWM system in Pune, every request is going to South America, and then it is getting processed there and coming back to be displayed on the RF device. That will increase the latency. What could be the solution to this? Can we use a decentralized? I will create my S4HANA system in South America, so the dealer will capture the sales order, everything in the S4HANA system. Now, at the end of the day, because now you are not worried about latency, because the sales order is captured in the system, you need to communicate to your internal system. So even if it is taking some more time, I am not worried about that. And then your SAP EWM server is located in Pune or Mumbai or nearby region, and then your EWM workers, if they are scanning a device or if they are doing an inbound delivery, outbound delivery, their request will go to a EWM server in Pune, and then from there it will be fulfilled. Have we solved the latency problem also by using a decentralized EWM? For a retail user or for a developer, you will not face this latency problem, but yes, for end users, it becomes very critical. even for 1 second, because they will be scanning thousands of HUs in one go. One warehouse worker is scanning thousands of HUs in one go. And then if it is taking some time, they will not be able to optimize or increase their efficiency. So that is also one of the consideration. If you are having, your warehouse located in a different continent, your S4HANA or your transactions will be happening in a different continent, then also you can go for a decentralized EWM.
In a decentralized design, how this integration is happening?
Integration between S4HANA and EWM?
Yes.
Yeah, so there are interfaces. There will be APIs. There is one functionality which is called as CIF. So you are basically, for the master data, it will be one-time activity, right? You are migrating the master data from S4HANA to EWM, and that will be one-time activity. If you're creating a new, then there will be APIs. There are also APIs as well, REST APIs, SOAP APIs as well, so that you will connect. And then for transactions, there are RFCs, there are IDOCs, there are again APIs which are used. So you will configure the destinations in both the systems, and those APIs, those IDOCs, those RFCs will be used.
So to avoid latency, we are doing this, right? So in case of embedded system, then also we need to decentralize and do some kind of setup.
So embedded, if you are using a decentralized, then it is no more an embedded system, right?
Right. Okay. No, but you said this is an inbuilt thing in on-premise, right? Like we get this embedded EWM along with S4HANA on-premise, right?
Right. So you will get it, but if you don't want to use it, SAP is not forcing you to use it. You will get it.
Okay.
You're not required to add those components. But if you want to have EWM as a separate system, that also you can have it. You will have the component, but you are not using that components in your S4HANA system.
Okay.
So with this, we are done with this landscape. Just for the day, think on this, get your questions on this, and then in class, we will start. From here only, we will discuss a little bit more about the different landscapes of an EWM, and then we will continue further from thereafter.